Hello guys, my name is Ina and I would like to continue the series of webinars about questions and different types of questions, and today we will have with you a very interesting webinar. It's a question tags. I will write it and explain you what are tags. Question tags. Well, nowadays it's maybe not very popular, but it used to be popular. Not about questions. I just want you to explain what is a tag. Sorry, I started talking. This is a suitcase for traveling, and here you have like a handle and like, I don't know, clothing, something like that. Very often to the suitcase, we can create a tag. This is a tag. This is tag. The tag usually has information about you, like your name and your address. And if your suitcase is lost, the person who found it will know where to bring it, of course, if he wants. So this is the tag. And this is how we create question tags. It's easy, you will see. And now I will write you some examples and discuss the formation of question tags. One thing only that you need to know why we need to use them. Usually we use them when we want to invite the person to respond to us. I like it, like it's an invitation to the response from the listener. Let's look at the sentence. He is working. Let's say he's working just. And then we put comma. Isn't he? And this is how we create question tags. He's working, this is our suitcase, and tag is isn't he. So how we make this tag? Usually this question demands answer like yes or no. Well, I think it's clear. So how to create such a question? We identify the auxiliary verb. In this case, auxiliary verb is, and we identify the subject, he. So we create he is working, isn't, negative form, he. And that's it. Let's look at the next one. Your mother, was a teacher. Auxiliary verb was, your mother is the subject. So how to create a question tag? We need to create negative form. Wasn't she? That's it. She plays the piano. Auxiliary verb, if this is present simple, does, subject she. So we say doesn't she. I don't know, that's it. Let's look at one more. They have moved to another city. This is present perfect. So have is the auxiliary verb. They is the subject. So tag will be haven't they. I'd like you to pay attention that when we have a positive sentence, our tag will be negative. So all these examples were like positive sentence, negative tag. But what to do if our, must be like that. What to do if our sentence is negative? It's like physics. Plus and minus, minus and plus. very easy to catch. Let's look at the same sentences, but we will create negative sentences. He isn't working. He doesn't have job. So the question will be, is he? No negative, because we can use only negative form once in a sentence. So if our sentence is negative, the tag will be positive. Your mother, your mom wasn't a teacher. Was she? She doesn't play the piano. Does she? They haven't moved. Have they? That's it. So in this case, we have negative sentence and positive tag. Let's talk about some maybe unusual cases in which we need to create question tags. Okay. The first one, when we have I and am, I will write here some maybe irregularities, irregular forms. Forms. First of all, I am late. Am doesn't form negative form, short form. So what to do? In this case, the tag will be aren't I. Only if it is a positive sentence. If the sentence is negative, it's easy. I am not late. Am I? So aren't is like a little bit unusual. This is the rule. If you have a positive sentence and you want to create a tag with I am, you need to use auxiliary verb aren't in the tag. This is the first. Second of all, let's look at the next one. Everybody has had dinner. Everybody is singular. It's like every person. But when we want to create a tag, we need to say haven't they. Haven't they. Next one. Somebody will help you. Somebody is also kind of singular. So when we want to create a tag, we need to say also they. Won't they? When we have nobody. What we have here? Nobody. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. When we have nobody likes her, this is already negative sentence, right? So our tag must be positive, and we say do they, because despite the fact that nobody is singular, when we create tag, we need to use they, do they. Also, there is one more thing. If we have a sentence that has kind of negative, not like negative form, but the sentence is negative in general. For example, Mary hardly ever cooks. Cooks. Hardly ever, it's like almost never. And because it sounds like almost never and never is negative, we need to create a positive tag. Does she? Mary hardly ever cooks. Does she? Okay, so this is about like negative things. And one more, students sometimes have the troubles with the construction there is there are, how to create tag with them. For example, there is a bank near here. Oh, there is a bank near here. We have here construction there is, and we use it in our tag. Isn't there? So if you see this construction, you just say isn't there. If it's negative, positive will be tag. There isn't a bank near here. Is there? That's it. Let's talk about intonation. Usually we have two types of intonation. It can be falling intonation, or it can be rising intonation. And there is a difference between them. All right, over here, intonation. Rising and falling. We use rising information when we are not sure about answer. And we use falling information. I don't know what you can see well. And we use falling information when we are fairly sure about the answer. For example, we have met before, haven't we? The intonation falls, so you almost sure that you've met. You were at Kim's party, weren't you? You are not sure, you don't remember this person at her party. There is a little bit more about tags that you need to know. When we have with you imperative forms. Imperative, it's like commands, imperative forms. When we don't have a tense, like a tense. For example, when we say phone me, what to use over here? Usually we use a very nice tag, will you? Almost always. For example, turn the TV down, will you? Sometimes, though, we can use can or could. For example, help me, can you? Or come here, could you? When we have, it's always like a rule, when we have let's, for example, let's have lunch. Lunch. Oh, sorry, already tired. Let's have lunch. It's lunch. Right here, lunch. Let's have lunch. We use a tag, shall we? Always. Let's go to the cinema, shall we? I think sounds very nice. And we have one more thing that you need to remember. This is about universal tags. I love them because they are universal. Universal tags. These are actually can be imperative, not forms, but tags. Imperative tags. So universal tags. What kind of universal tags we have? we have such tags as right or yeah. For example, you're coming to the party, right? You're coming to the party, right? So right is a universal tag. Or we can also say yeah. I'll come. Well, sounds weird a little bit. I'll come there. Yeah. Well, that's it about tags. You have lots of rules, of course, and let's practice them. I've just prepared sentences, and in the sentences, you need to finish the sentences creating tags. I will open now the PowerPoint presentation, and all of what we've discussed with you, all these rules are included in this practice. So, question tags. We got with you here 10 sentences, a lot. Look at them. You have a few minutes to think what kind of tag we need to use here. I will show you then just the tags, like you take sugar in tea, don't you? And so on. So please, you got 1 or 2 minutes to think, and then we will check. So let's check. The first one, you take sugar in tea. We already discussed. We say don't you, but you don't take it in coffee. It's negative sentence, so the tag must be do you. The lift isn't working today. Again, negative sentence. Is it? It never works very well. Never is already negative, so does it? The area was evacuated at once, wasn't it? There was no panic. No is negative, so was there. Though everybody realized the danger, you remember that everybody is like every person, but we use they. So didn't they? There was a lot of noise, wasn't there? But nobody complained, negative form. Did they? And nobody is they in tag. Mary hardly ever cooks. Does she? It's negative because hardly ever, it means almost never. Let's look at next 10 sentences, please. I hope you are ready. Let's look at our sentences. She buys convenience foods, doesn't she? Present simple. She would save money if she bought fresh food. Would save, we have here would, so wouldn't she? Mr. Smith usually remembered his wife's birthdays in the past, didn't he? But he didn't remember this one. It's negative sentence, did he? And his wife was very disappointed, wasn't she? They don't allow pet dogs in this shop. We have here auxiliary verb do, so we say do they. But guide dogs can come in. Can is a modal verb. It doesn't need any helping verbs. It can be used by itself. So can't they? Let's have some lunch now. You remember let's is some exception, so answer is always the same. Shall we? That isn't Bill driving. Negative sentence is that. Nothing went wrong. Negative sentence, did it? And last 10 words, not 20, last 10 sentences, please. Also think, we have here lots of different exceptions. Think how to create tags with them. So let's check our answers. Turn the TV down. Will you? Always in imperative forms, we use will. So we'd better get back in the car, hadn't we? Because we'd better had better. It would be unpleasant to be attacked by a lion, wouldn't it? And it wouldn't be any use running away from the lion, would it? Come here a minute. Can you or will you? But he never takes advice. Nay, never is a negative sentence. Does he? I can hear you perfectly well. Don't shout. Will you? Don't shout is the imperative form. There used to be trees here, didn't there? There isn't any point in waiting, is there? And the last one, he hardly come now. Hardly is a negative form, so will he? That's it. Let's make the conclusion of our webinar. So today we discussed with you question tags. As you can see, it's not difficult to create them, but some students ignore these types of questions. I think you shouldn't. These questions are very common in English, and lots of people use them when they want to talk to other people, when they want to invite the person to the conversation, as I said at the beginning. So please don't hesitate and use this construction, this type of questions as often as you can, and you will just fall in love with it. You will see it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day. See you soon.